is brought to you by LGBT on Instagram. LGBT is amazing, and we'll learn more about them later in the video. The LGBTQIA2S+ community. We have a mix of sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, and many other things that are included within this umbrella. So how did we get here where it seems that we have an ever-growing acronym to include communities and groups in the umbrella of the LGBTQIA2S+ community? Let's start from the beginning-ish. In 1988, the acronym LGBT finally took onto the scene. Sometimes people discuss it as GLBT, but LGBT is kind of the more common one. This is important because it includes bisexuals, like me, and transgender folks, people who are outside of the definitions of cisgender identity. And this honored the fact that people who are outside of cis normativity and heteronormativity have been the foundation of this movement. It's not just gay and lesbian, it's not just gay, it's everybody. And in 2016, GLAAD, an amazing advocacy organization, gave the guidance that LGBT was an important term to use, adding LGBTQ+ for queer and plus, because a lot of folks identify outside of those initial 4 letters. But let's break it down even further. Imagine what it might feel like to finally find a place where you're included and then not feel seen or represented. And all because you can't be bothered to add a plus to the end of an acronym. LGBTQ+, I mean, it rolls right off the tongue, and it's important to say it's a minor inconvenience when what's at stake is inclusion. And inclusion is important. Not just inclusion, but accurate representation that goes beyond tokenization to actual change. Making sure that we understand folks like Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, trans women, created this movement. So including trans folks in the movement isn't something that's charitable, it's necessary. It's citing our sources, it's honoring the people who made this movement what it is today. Let's break down the entire LGBTQIA2S+ alphabet. But before we do that, a message from our sponsor. Today's lesson is brought to you by LGBT on Instagram. LGBT is curated by a dear friend of mine named Ray, and it's a growing community of individuals who are highlighted and shouted out as part of our rich and diverse community. Of course, there's different pages. They have LGBTQ as well, and LGBT is kind of the main hub that encapsulates so many diverse members of the community. They're helping me create content and helping me hire folks like En Lesueur, who does my editing, and Ren Fernandez Kim, who's directing. Hey Ren. Hi. It's so important that we work with queer folks, that we hire queer folks, that we resource folks properly, and that we continue to do this work. Thank you so much, LGBT. Keep up the great work. So now let's get smarter about the LGBTQIA2S+ alphabet, and I'll be doing some sign language to correspond with the letters in the acronym. L for lesbian. Lesbian has historically been used to describe women who form emotional, physical, and romantic attractions to other women. Keep in mind, however, that this is an evolving conversation. Some people feel very passionately that lesbian should only be applied to women. But there are just as many, if not more, people who identify as lesbians who do not identify as women. As this conversation evolves, the important feature of the LGBTQ+ community is inclusion, creating spaces where people can feel like they belong, not places where they feel kept out and policed. G for gay. Gay has traditionally described men who form romantic, physical, and emotional attractions to other men, but can be used to describe anybody who forms attractions to people of the same gender as them. B, bisexual. Bisexual is often defined differently by individual people. I'm bisexual, for example, and it might be different than somebody else who identifies as bisexual. A good baseline understanding is to know that bisexuals form attractions to people of more than one gender. T, transgender or trans. Transgender describes people whose gender identity differs in some way to the gender that they were assigned at birth. Cisgender describes people whose gender identity is in alignment or the same as what they were assigned at birth. For example, I'm cisgender. I was assigned female at birth, and today I identify as a woman. It's important that we don't put a hierarchy of placing cisgender people above transgender people, because it's all just